We are honored to showcase an educator with more than 2 decades of experience of teaching advanced verbal and written communication skills for delivering effective session and ensuring a productive learning environment. She is an acclaimed multi-award winning Indian author for her writings on women empowerment, gender equality, travel, spirituality, wellness, and sustainability. She has been awarded Changemaker of the Year award for being an entrepreneur and grooming students for many years in her endeavors to give back to the society and aid in shaping the future of the world. She is Sonal Chhibber representing the United Arab Emirates. Her session title is Knowledge Management and Sustainability. Hello, Sonal.
Hi, Anusha. How are you?
We are good, we are well, and we're excited for your session. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Hope my voice is clear and you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. Let me first start by thanking Anusha and Gavin for the great initiative of getting all the educators together at one platform. And thanks, Education Influence, for this great opportunity. So, let me introduce myself again for the people who have just joined in. So I'm Sonal Chhibber, an Indian expat living in Dubai for past 15 years. I'm an award-winning Indian educator and author and have won many awards for my writings on education, women empowerment, gender equality, travel, spirituality, expat life, wellness, entrepreneurship, sustainability, etc. I've been awarded Changemaker of the Year award for being an edupreneur and grooming students for many years in my endeavor to give back to the society and aid in shaping the future of the world. As a progressive and collaborative leader, I'm dedicated to promote an engaged, empowered work culture. As an educator, I have more than 20 years of teaching experience with advanced verbal and written communication skills for delivering effective sessions and ensuring a productive learning environment. I try to instill best practices for individual student learning and group workshops. I help students in public speaking and creative writing skills. I try to improve student engagement by facilitating interactive use of learning devices, digital practices, and assessments for learning and transformation. Also, I'm a trainer, writing and public speaking coach, author, poetess, orator, blogger, journalist, YouTuber, podcaster, and global education influencer. And I love to groom 5 to 50-year-olds in the nuances of the communication skill set modules customized to their specific needs. The idea is to bridge the gap and empower each and everyone to rise and shine in all walks of life. For further queries of learning, you can all email me at sonalchhibber@gmail.com. Now coming to today's topic, which is knowledge management and sustainability. So COVID-19 has put a lens on how important it is for institutions to plan for disruptions, have robust systems for continuity and knowledge management. Knowledge management is now seen as critical to designing resilient policies and practices to assure continuity, resilience, and sustainability. This session will examine and elaborate how knowledge management good practices can provide practical guidelines for professionals desirous of developing effective knowledge management practices in context of ever-changing risk and opportunities, resilience, continuity, and sustainability. So you all must be wondering, so what is basically knowledge management? So it is a sense-making model that utilizes self-organizing capabilities of the informal communities and identifies a natural flow model of knowledge creation, disruption, and utilization. To date, there has been only limited research into sustainable knowledge management systems. So though COVID, I would say, was very, harmful in one sense, but it was also, I think, a boon in disguise because it made us rethink what we were, having in schools as people who are educators in UAE, you all know, like September, October is the months when all schools have inspection by KHDA and they come over and inspect schools. So while I was working with a lot of schools with different curriculums like American, British, Indian, I realized whenever this inspection period used to come in September, October, I mean, all schools were in panic and they were trying to retrieve the, information to produce and all. So this made me think how knowledge management is so important and critical, because sometimes, the systems crash. Sometimes, the teachers have their own set of, learnings which they store in their own systems, and there is not one centralized system to produce or to show knowledge, which can be so critical at these times, whether it is an inspection or otherwise. Even for COVID, I would say, I mean, it made the educators rethink. Sometimes the teachers used to fell ill and they used to take an off, and a new teacher used to come who used to struggle for, resources, because every teacher had their own resources and their own laptops. So she had to make her own lesson plans, which also made us think that we should have a, centralized knowledge management system. Even sometimes children used to fall ill for long periods and they used to miss out on classes. And now with the COVID, I mean, not only it made us sustainable in terms of using less paper and, less, solid resources, and rather than going digital. So now when there are people who fell ill due to COVID or otherwise, they still have the opportunity to access online resources, and teachers do provide online lessons, which was not the norm earlier. So earlier, if a teacher fell ill or a student fell ill, it was like a doom period for them, because teacher had to come back and again struggle for, making away resources, and children used to again struggle when they used to join school to find resources. But with knowledge management and sustainability practices, now schools are equipped. They no longer panic. They have a centralized system of knowledge, and even they are providing online classes to children. Even teachers are providing online classes from home. So I would say the COVID period was a wake-up call, and I think it is for the best, because now even in workplaces there is hybrid, on-site, and there is remote setting. So it's been a boom. So how do you develop and sustain knowledge management? So basically, there are 3 steps to it. First step, you have to recognize that implementing knowledge management must be a strategic initiative. Second, you have to take a life cycle approach to implementation. And third, you have to focus on the strategy and process first, not the basic, knowledge management tools. And what are the 4 spheres of knowledge management? They are people, process, content, and strategy. And why knowledge management is important for educational sustainability? It's because having a strategy for knowledge management will provide schools, universities, a plan for better management of information and knowledge for the benefit of the students and educators. So effectively, a good knowledge management strategy can gain senior leadership commitment to knowledge management initiatives and attract resources for implementation. And why knowledge management is sustainable? Because local or traditional knowledge is often produced as a superior form of knowledge, as it lies outside science, and it is seen as representing a closer affinity with nature. So however, local knowledge, like scientific knowledge, can be deified given virtues it simply does not possess. And how does knowledge management improve performance? So knowledge management can in fact improve performance through learning opportunities, innovation, and quality of services. And what is the purpose of knowledge management? Basically, the purpose is to share perspectives, ideas, experience, and information to ensure that these are available in the right place at the right time to enable informed decisions and to improve efficiency by reducing the need to rediscover knowledge. And why it is so much important in these times, the knowledge management? Because it is defined as process of capturing, storing, sharing, and effectively managing the knowledge and experience of employees or staff to increase the workforce overall knowledge. Imagine, if all educators put all their learnings and knowledge into one system, so many educators around the world can manage, can progress with that knowledge and can have so many learning opportunities. Like this, conference we are having, and each educator is, discussing their knowledge, their learnings, and later on, Anusha will put them in a platform in their website. Imagine the kind of learning, new learning, and progress the educators or the students or the schools will have because of this. And this is exactly the purpose of knowledge management and sustainability. So there are three types of knowledge management: tacit, implicit, and explicit knowledge. These type of knowledge are largely distinguished by codification of the information. So I'm asking you all, do you think knowledge systems contribute to sustainable environment? I think yes, because the science, technology, and knowledge certainly can and sometimes do make substantial, indeed essential contributions to sustainability across a wide range of places and problems. And what are the values of knowledge networks in sustainable development strategy? See, knowledge management and sustainability are two different topics, but they are interdependent and interconnected, especially in today's time. Because over a period, knowledge-based networking strengthens the inherent link between information access, democracy, human rights, environmental protection, and sustainable development by providing useful information for problem solving, for enhancing community participation, for better organization and development of resources. And by resources, I mean, human resources as well. So how is knowledge management used in education? Knowledge management assists educational institutions in improving their capacity to acquire and share knowledge and information to resolve many issues, and it promotes research and continuous development in the field of knowledge. And the three main areas of knowledge management are, as I discussed, accumulating knowledge, storing knowledge, and sharing knowledge. And it can contribute a lot, especially in higher education, because knowledge management in higher education can significantly boost efficiency, productivity, collaboration, employee satisfaction, while also fostering high-level strategy and innovation. And what are the values of knowledge networks in sustainable development strategy? The ability to quickly locate timely and relevant information. Also, it rapidly transforms economic issues in a world of increasing awareness and decreasing tolerance to the environment at the forefront. And how can we achieve global sustainability, if you ask me, because that is the need of the hour? So we have to universalize access to basic services such as water, sanitation, and sustainable energy. Support the generation of development opportunities through inclusive education and decent work. Foster innovation and resilient infrastructure, creating communities and cities able to produce and consume sustainably. So, with the COVID, all differentiated categories of students were inclusively brought under one umbrella, and everybody was learning online. Everybody was at the same platform, which was a great breakthrough, because everybody was in one, be it educators, students, differentiated needs students. So it made us realize, there's a different angle also of studying, of gaining education and being sustainable. Because mind you, when they were learning from home, there was no papers and no assignments, books, they were learning online, and they were doing practical exercises, which is the need of the hour. So why is knowledge management important in the academics? So knowledge is essential to create and add value that helps to build a sound environment for teaching and learning. Knowledge management improves an institution's capacity in many ways that improves its ultimate survival and success. And the power of knowledge management is that you can track down resources through a centralized platform. In other words, the staff can find the data they need without spending hours looking for a specific email from their heads or from the school. So people in the schools, they can have a shared drive where they can have all the resources needed for educators new or who are old, and they just want to quickly access the information so that learning loss is not there. So how do you promote knowledge management? So there are a few ways you can encourage and foster a knowledge sharing culture, be it with students also. I mean, if somebody learns a new thing, you can say, okay, let's share it with the whole class. So that whole class learns a new thing, and knowledge is not, with one student, but with all, because we are looking for the benefit of all. So we can encourage and foster knowledge sharing culture, then create spaces for knowledge sharing to happen. Encourage knowledge sharing activities. Lead by examples. So if the students see the teachers sharing knowledge with each other, they will be, more encouraged to share knowledge with each other as well. Because no matter what you teach them, they observe and they are very smart. So let's lead by example. And we can have experts share their knowledge like we are sharing today, and formalize a knowledge management process. I mean, it should be made mandatory in all schools, and in some universities they can have a subject also, knowledge management and sustainability, because that is the way to go ahead. So can you tell why a knowledge management course is important in your studies? Like I was talking, it should be a subject now which students should study and the teachers should teach. So knowledge management enables individuals to stimulate innovation and the cultural challenges and needs to evolve the organization and meet changing needs. So with faster access to information and resources across the institution, knowledge workers can act quickly and productively, I would say. So how a university promotes knowledge sharing among its staff? So I have worked with universities as well, and I think they struggle at times in these areas. So I think a spoken knowledge sharing strategies should be used, which include conferences, lectures and presentations, workshops, open conversation sessions and meetings, when each one does not keep the knowledge to oneself, but discuss it in an open forum so that all can take advantage. And what is a good way to share and sustain knowledge? Knowledge can be shared and sustained within the members of a team by creating a learning environment. Interactive communications are required that involve collaborating and learning from each other, because that is something we should all do and make it a practice. So how can you protect the environment? As a student, how can you ensure sustainability? So by using reusable packaging such as lunch boxes, reusable water bottles and coffee mugs, because such reducing of resources will help in the reducing of litter entering the environment, and in turn help in curbing the pollution and toxifying the air. And shopping for second-hand items is a great way of reducing that, reusing, that reduces waste and saves you money. And now in UAE, plastic bags have been banned, so nobody can use it. And so we carry our own cloth bags, or we have to buy the cloth bags from the shops, which is a great way the UAE government is ensuring that there is sustainability and protection of environment. Because there were a lot of initiatives by Sadhguru also to save soil and promote environmental friendly practices, and UAE are adapting that. Even though UAE is primarily a desert land, still it's trying to use sustainable measures to clear the environment and ensure that people get good living. So how will you motivate other youth to help protect the environment? So there's you can they can start their own initiative or volunteer with environment organization, reduce recycle paper, and recycle more, save resources, buy sustainable products, decrease meat and dairy consumption, which is also an important area, and only buy what you need. Like COVID made us realize not to spend money on expensive holidays or things, and save money and buy only things we need, which is very good learning from the COVID period. So how can schools promote environmental awareness? I think now certain play schools at see in UAE, they have playgrounds in the open air and with a shed. So children enjoy more rather than putting them in a class, which used to happen earlier, and put some toys and let them play. They go in the open air, explore things, and connect with the nature and environment. And students have to learn from a very young age how to respect the environment, connect with it, because that will help them in future. So how can we become environmentally educated? So we have to give students more responsibility. If educators and parents collaboratively take the entire burden in terms of environmental preservation, students won't be prompted to take action for their environment. It will come, they will learn from example and help them get a sense of it. Make them see such programs, take part in no plastic initiative, beach cleanup initiative, and provide them outside class opportunities, give them practical things to do, be a role model, because students these days are very smart. I mean, theoretical learning won't go a long way. You have to give them projects they're excited with, and you have to take them outside their classroom and make them enjoy and do practical learning. And what is I think the youth play an important role in protecting the environment. So protecting the environment starts with pollution control. Therefore, youth can reduce waste by paying attention to minor details in their daily lives. For example, not to take plastic bags when they go shopping. There may be aiming for a greener and healthier environment. And how should teachers protect the environment? Teachers should give the instruction to students to avoid using of polythene bags and make use of recycled plastic. And nowadays in some schools I see a bin kind of structure where you can put your paper or plastic and it gets recycled, even your garbage bags or garbage. So that is one good way of promoting environmental friendly practices. And the objectives of environmental education is to create awareness, to help the social groups and individuals to acquire knowledge of pollution and environmental degradation, and change their mindset and attitudes, and build the skills and the capacity to connect to environmental friendly practices and participate actively. And ultimately we have to aim for an education with sustainable development to improve the quality of education, because education for sustainable development empowers learners to take informed decisions and responsible actions for environmental integrity, economic viability, and a just society for present and future generations, with respecting cultural diversity. UAE is a great example where all cultures are respected and everybody is given the due chance to shine. So, and these are great times for today's generation to lead by example and make this land safe for the future generations in terms of better education, sustainable education, and being respectful to your environment. And the role of a teacher in environmental awareness is very, very critical, because a teacher can play an important role in creating environmental awareness. So he or she must educate her or his students about environment and motivate them to acquire the skills of solving environmental problems. So what role, basically a student at each level can play in promoting environmental sustainability? So here are some practical tips to get started. So the teachers need to teach children about the 3 R's, which is reduce waste, reuse resources, and recycle materials. It's as simple as that, the 3 R's. Even the small children can remember that. Reuse, reduce, and recycle. And they should organize tree planting days at school and teach children, because trees are important to the environment. So we should encourage children to switch off all appliances and lights when not in use. And
Sorry, hi Sonal. I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but we do have a query from our audiences. They were asking me if you could share your screen or some slides that you prepared so that they can have some visual representation of the.
No, I just prepared a PDF file which I will share with you later, and you can share with them.
Okay, thank you, Sonal. Please continue. Sorry to interrupt you. Thank you.
No, that's fine, Anusha. So, what is 21st century skill for education for sustainability? So, 21st century skills refer to the development of personal and social skills of individuals to share information, values, and knowledge while participating in and contributing to the development of society. This involves being able to function and act in the digital environment. So there are a lot of components of environmental education. Firstly, there has to be awareness and sensitivity to the environment and environmental challenges. Secondly, knowledge and understanding of the environment and environmental challenges, and attitudes of concern for the environment and motivate to improve and maintain environmental equality, I would say. So what is the importance of environmental education, which I think is also critical these days? It should be in schools, universities, everywhere. So environmental education promotes critical and creative thinking skills and inspires kids to become more engaged with their communities. It helps kids understand why the environment is important and provides them with the building blocks they need to live eco-friendly and sustainable life. So, what are the benefits of sustained learning and education? You may wonder. So, it leads to children listening with curiosity, because it is something new and unexplored for them, and it demonstrates receptiveness to new experiences. It welcomes and reflects upon different perspectives, and it seeks meaning and application in the learning, and enters in and makes them enter into a learning situation in a culturally respectful way. So, and also it brings challenges to oneself to see things differently from the eyes of everyone. So that is the thing. And what is the role of school in environmental conservation and sustainable development? So school boards must ensure that environmental education is a significant part of the curriculum for all classes. Seminars, field trips, competitions, and fairs on environmental themes, because it helps the students identify their interest in nature and choose a related career. Because now I heard my daughter went into university in Canada to study, and her roommate is studying forestry. I mean, these subjects people were not, preferring before, but now because environmental sustainability is the need of the hour. So children are, interested in these spheres as well, but they have to have that guidance and knowledge before to choose a viable option, environmentally friendly option. And what are the benefits of environmental education? So 5 benefits which I see is it develops a sustainable lifestyles because humans consume more than what our earth can offer. We have abused the environment for long, and now we are repaying back in terms of shortage of water, soil, and COVID was also a reality check. And also, environmental education encourages healthy lifestyle. It inspires, awe in students, and they respect the teachers who make them, adopt to good environmental practices. And it promotes proactiveness. It makes them think, students think how they can solve, problems. And it encourages their imagination and analytical thinking, because that is more important. Like down the line, so after so many years, they won't remember what a chapter entailed in it, like theoretically. But if you make them do some project practically, they will still use that knowledge, and that is which will give them global skills when they go for higher education, which is very important. And how can we encourage effective learning in natural environment? So we have to make most of the natural environment. We have to put children's play area at center of a green good park, or good green area, so that they can enjoy, they can relate to environment. And we have to collaborate to create environments that work for everyone. Now I see some schools and colleges which have a lot of greenery, and the classes are taking outside the classroom, which makes the children feel happy. Even the teachers feel good in fresh air. So I mean, these practices should be encouraged, and you have to take control of your classroom design. Make sure it is airy, and there are windows with plants inside and outside, to not only give fresh air but make children connect to the environment. And you have to discover local opportunities to make the learning real and practical for the students. And what is a sustainable student? Because this term is also now coming up. So examples of areas within sustainable student life are student healthcare, study environment, and equal treatment. A sustainable student life means that your life as a student should be exciting and enriching all throughout your studies. You should not be feeling unwell because of your studies. I see so many students who don't want to go to school because they think there's a lot of pressure of studies, and sitting at one place in the classroom tires them. Even it would tire us also if we put ourselves in their place, that we have to sit in a chair for 8-9 hours. I mean, everybody will get bored and tired. So we have to think of ways where children feel excited to go to school. That okay, today I will do this project, today I will go to a full field trip. Such practices should be there in school. And what is school sustainability? So simply put, school sustainability means being kind to your campus environment and not depleting natural resources around school grounds. So schools around the country are making sustainability a top priority, with district-wide committees and daily efforts to tackle everything from air quality to consumption and waste. And what activities as an individual can a student undertake to contribute towards a sustainable campus, and in turn a sustainable city? So because I think individuals can make a difference too, provided they know what to do. So here are 5 ways which can make your campus more eco-friendly. So first of all, you should reduce printing by reading on screen. You should go away with so many worksheets and so many papers, and stop buying bottled water. Plastic water bottles should be banned. Either the children get water from their home, which is not in a plastic bottle, or they have an options to buy an eco-friendly water bottle from school. Then you have to reduce, reuse, and recycle resources. Okay, and be smarter with your water usage. I mean, I see small kids, they go to the washroom, open the water, and they just, come out. They're not bothered because they don't know. I mean, they're wasting water or whatever. They have to be made aware that when you're not using the water, just off the this thing, and when you're not using some classroom or something, you should close the lights. If teachers start doing that, of course the children will take a lead, because if teachers don't bother and they just on the lights and move out and the classroom is empty till the next session begins, I mean, the children will see and do the replicate the same. So we have to lead by example. And what intervention can one suggest or do as a student to have a green environment? So you have to recycle more often rather than throwing everything in the trash. Separate your plastic, paper, and metal waste and deposit it in the recycling bin. Because not all schools, but certain schools and communities are now having different bins for different kind of trash, which is useful. And recycling helps reduce landfill pollution, raw materials, and fossil fuel consumption, and generates a circular economy. And what sustainability projects, I mean, would you like to start at your school? I would say, this for a school to be sustainable and eco-friendlier, you should have active environmental learning, recycling as a craft exercise, classroom composting, then reuse paper. If a worksheet is used, tell them to work on the behind rather than taking a new paper or something like that. Using sustainable IT resources, start a school gardening project, then energy efficiency, and advocate zero waste at school events. And why sustainability is also important, not only in schools, but college campuses also, because they represent the heart and soul of living in a campus environment. When a campus has a rich portfolio of sustainability initiatives, you are more likely to be exposed to healthier food, community service opportunities, and a creative approach to lifestyle behaviors. Because as I said, your lifestyle and mindset needs to change too. And schools play an important role in improving the environment, because they could set up a recycling system in the school cafeteria, plant a small organic garden that will produce fresh vegetables for the cafeteria. Children can also support local wildlife and reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere by planting trees, shrubs, flowers in the school background. I mean, these are some initiatives that can make, children excited and in turn help in, eco-friendly practices. And why is teaching sustainability important as educators? Because it enables them to develop knowledge, skills, values, and motivations for actions, allowing them to maintain their own well-being and that of their community and the planet in an increasingly interconnected world. And the role of education is very essential in living more sustainably, because education for sustainable development promotes the development of education, skills, understanding, values, and actions required to create a sustainable world, which in turn ensures environmental protection and conservation, and it promotes social equity and encourages economic sustainability. And what is the relationship, you might ask, between education and sustainable development? So education for sustainable development allows every human being to acquire the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values necessary to shape a sustainable future. Basic education is a key to nations' ability to develop and achieve sustainability targets. And what is sustainability in teaching? So sustainable teaching is the practice of giving students the skills they need for lifelong learning outside of the classroom. We do this through teaching issues of sustainability as well as soft skills such as critical thinking, research, collaboration, design thinking, and presentation skills. And teachers, as you know, we all know, play a very important role, because they can encourage sustainability at all levels. So we should also help teachers collaboratively to have a more sustainable environment, and the school also should support, the leadership team also should support the educators. They should encourage teachers to take breaks from work and to set boundaries, like they will not answer or see mails after 6 p.m, because I, as an educator, I used to struggle with that emails of parents and from school used to come at all odd hours and I had to respond. But then I worked in a school who had this policy that after 6 p.m. you will not respond to, emails, and you could use the extra time to meditate or have a quiet time every morning, before school and after school, which is, I mean, it helps, because when you support the educators and they and their well-being, then they also work productively, and it works in all ways. So we have to support the educators as well and think for them, have some yoga sessions for the teachers, some meditation center sessions for the teachers, have a room in the school which is a quiet room wherever a teacher in between classroom periods feel little overwhelmed, she can come at the quiet place, have some coffee, relax for some time, and then get recharged and rejuvenated and go back. So that should be there. And school sustainability is very important because sustainable education is future oriented and it focuses on protecting the environments and creating more ecologically and socially just world through informed decisions. And the suggestions I would give to teachers to improve education, I will basically give 7 suggestions, that they have to use ICT tools and digital game-based learning. They have to use the flipped classroom model, encourage cooperative learning, communicate with colleagues, communicate with parents, because it is always a collaborative approach, and create a welcoming environment for the students. And to conclude, I will say, sustainable environment improves the quality of education, because education for sustainable development empowers learners to take informed decisions and responsible actions for environmental integrity, economic viability, and a just society for present and future generations, while respecting the cultural diversity. Yeah, that's from my end. I'm open to questions from your end now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonal. Thank you so much for your amazing presentation. Thank you for sharing it with such dedication and such enthusiasm. However, we had some comments from the attendees that if you could have shared your slides, maybe they could have visualized your presentation, and it could have been better for them to soak all that information and knowledge and everything that we've been pouring in. That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you, Sonal. And yes, everybody, if you have any questions for Sonal, you are requested to please unmute yourself, and you can just ask Sonal questions and she will answer them for you. You're welcome. We do have another 16 minutes for Sonal. So we have a couple of comments for you. Yes, one more message. So Simu Chimba writes, nice session. I think she's tuning in from Zambia. And then Zambia, yes, he's tuning in from Zambia. And then our Jyoti Gupta writes, our students follow with UN SDG goals included in all needs to study. And then Dr. Pratima says, today we have 4 R's for environment care, reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. And then we have Usman saying presenter has done justice to the topic, but lack teaching aids to booster understanding of topic was not harnessed during the presentation. Maybe it's because of the slides, and maybe it was because of the slides. So no. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Actually thought with slides, I mean, I won't have more time and it might, get extended and I won't have time for questions. So I have made a, presentation and all, and I'll send it. When you post it on your website, you can post the PDF file and the presentation.
Yes,
also.
please. Yes, please. You're requested to send all the resources that you would like to offer all educators so that they can learn from you, learn from your experiences, learn from your expertise. That would be amazing.